Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. Why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of This, and I'm back here with another video. And today, I am doing What If Naruto Had the Eyes of the Lord, Part 3, Zenchogan. And I don't have much else to say, so I'm just gonna get right into it. Quick recap first, obviously. Last time, the new Team 7 encountered Kabuto disguised as Naruto, and he tries to, play him, and Kabuto turns on him, and he ends up knocking Kabuto out. After that, he beats Orochimaru, not even needing his Sage Mode or Kurama's power. And Sai then leaves suspiciously after Orochimaru and manages to escape Naruto's, grasps. And as Orochimaru, escapes, they manage to track him down to his hideout, but the show ends there and they fight Sasuke. And Sai tries to kill him before then revealing he wanted Naruto's help to regain his emotions. After Sasuke meets his old team, unexpectedly he finds that Naruto has surpassed him, but Naruto couldn't hurt him and let him go. After this, he goes back to Konoha and he gets in a bit of trouble, but Tsunade gets him out of it, telling the others to back off. And then one night, he is followed by Hinata, and after realizing that Hinata always had feelings for him, they start going out. After this, he is soon called to be backup for Shikamaru and Asuma, and he arrives, saving them both. And they went home safely. He then kills the two Akatsuki, obviously, and they go looking for Sasuke again. And during their mission, Naruto meets Itachi, who asks him a weird request. And after finding Sasuke again, they fight Kisame together and kill him and split as Samehada gets attached to Sasuke while Naruto takes Kisame's body. After this, they go and meet Tobi, who tries to take Kisame's body but fails. However, as Naruto fails to get Sasuke again, he gets the elders, calling him. But then he turns his attention to Danzo, revealing his Sharingan covered arm, and he gets arrested. And also Naruto will be in the process of becoming a Jonin by this point. And anyway, Jiraiya then summons him to Mount Miyaboko after finding out about pain. And he manages to survive because Naruto helped him get perfect Sage Mode. Naruto and Jiraiya then appear back in the village and appear right in Tsunade's office. "You're back," she would say as she gets up out of her chair. And Shizune puts down her pig and runs over asking Jiraiya if he was okay, and he says he's fine. Naruto then says that doesn't matter right now. The Akatsuki are about to attack soon, and they have this OP Dojutsu, the Renegon or something. Tsunade and Shizune freeze up hearing this name and the name of these eyes. And they're considered to be the eyes of the god of, Shinobi, Hagoromo. And Jiraiya would then say what's worse is there's 6 of him, each possessing a different ability of the eyes. I barely escaped. Tsunade then sighs in frustration saying, and we just dealt with Danzo. Jiraiya then asks about that because, he didn't know that Danzo got arrested. But she says she'll explain later, and Tsunade then leaves her office to make an announcement. And Shizune tells Naruto to take care of Tonton, her pig. And he picks up Tonton, who is scared, but he says it will be okay. Naruto then says that he might as well go back home because Hinata probably is waiting there confused. And Jiraiya would then say, in your house, you've been getting busy, huh? Naruto then blushes, saying that it's no big deal, and he teleports away as Jiraiya follows. As they arrive back in Naruto's living room, they see Hinata looking around scared, and Hinata would say, oh, you're back. Say Jiraiya. She then gets embarrassed, and Jiraiya says it's okay, you should enjoy your youth a bit more. We're in tough times after all. Hinata then thanks him for the advice, and Naruto says, speaking of tough times, the village is gonna get attacked soon. As he says this, we cut to Sasuke as he stands in front of Itachi, who is sitting down, and Itachi would ask, how did you find me? Sasuke then points to Samehada behind him, and he smiles as Itachi would say, you have a really good friend. Sasuke tells him to shut up as he then takes out Samehada off his back and throws it away. So you're planning to go all the way, you don't need that weapon? Then let's see how good your eyes are now. Now back to Konoha, the villagers are instantly moved to bunkers of the village so they can stay safe, and the ninjas are posted up in certain parts of the village, and Naruto stays in front of it even though Tsunade and the elders thought it was a bad idea. But the Hyugas are kept around him and, to kind of protect him, not that he really needs it, he's the Jinchuriki. So, you know what I'm saying. And they start to scout, and all the ninjas have been told of Naruto's Dojutsu, which they hypothesize would develop from the mixed blood of the Namikaze and Uzumaki, and it's pretty plausible, but it is still too strong. However, Naruto doesn't even need to use his eyes to see at least a mile away and simply keeps looking at keeps looking forward as Hiashi then says, what is my daughter to you? Naruto, hearing this, tells him to stop asking things like that, and all the Hyugas, including Neji, are not paying attention to how Naruto would answer, and he would then say, "I don't need your blessings, Hiyashi." He said Hiyashi? I really don't care about him. He says you're not qualified to decide Hinata's love life, and the Hyuga are impressed by his boldness, and Hinata tries to de-escalate the situation, but Hiyashi, I just don't care. Hiyashi chuckles to everyone's surprise. He would say, "You're not wrong. I have my own faults to fix." "I'm just glad you know," Naruto would say. And as he says this, Naruto's eyes would widen as he tells everyone to get down, and he sees a wave of gravity coming at them, and he copies it, and his eyes shine, with him releasing an almighty push as well, which clashes with the pains, and all the ninjas at the other side of the village look back to see a giant explosion has occurred. They all run and gather to the, near the gates, as does Jiraiya and Tsunade, and they all arrive to see a huge crater, and a surprised Kiba would then say, "What was that?" The dust cloud then clears and everyone starts to hear clashing and look to see Naruto and Naruto's clones fighting 6 men of the Akatsuki. The ninja get ready to go down, but Tsunade puts her hand up, saying Naruto's trying to keep the Hyuga safe. We then go down to the crater as a group of Hyuga, including Hinata and Neji, get up to go join and help Naruto, but as soon as they take a step, a puff of smoke appears in front of them, and out of it comes a giant mouth which goes to gobble them up, but then the real Naruto appears in front of them, grabbing the mouth, as the smoke then clears to reveal a giant beast which shocks everyone when they see it in its full form. It is gigantic, but what's even more shocking is that Naruto is holding this thing back with his sheer strength. "Get out of here, I can't hold this for long." He then yells and he screams as he then squeezes every muscle in his body, and he rips the beast apart, and he's pretty surprised himself, and Neji would say, "Such strength." Naruto, as a result of such an exertion of strength, has ruined his clothes a bit, but he managed to keep Hinata's scarf safe, and as the Hyuga back away, much to Hinata's chagrin, Naruto comes face to face with the Pains, who have gotten rid of his clones, but they did get hurt a lot, because Naruto's clones are almost as strong as he is, and Tsunade doesn't want to, put anyone else as hostage, because if anyone goes down there, then Naruto may have just more trouble trying to save them than just fighting. So Yahiko walks up and he asks, "What are those eyes, Nine Tails?" "I guess introductions are in order. Say hello to the Zenchogan. It's an omen to your impending doom." Naruto then uses a special Winjutsu, swinging at a Pain who had the ability to absorb chakra, and it bursts to pieces to the shock of the Pains, who then all get simultaneously punched in the stomach, with Naruto appearing in front of the main Pain in Lee's stance while in the 5th gate. "Don't underestimate my ability, it just might cost you." Now back to Nagato. As he sees this happen, being unable to counter it, he is distressed and Konan asks what's wrong, and Nagato would say, "This Dojutsu he names the Zenchogan. It seems like you really underestimated him. He's that powerful?" Nagato then nods but says, "But he too shall feel pain. It doesn't matter." Now back at the fight, the other Pains come up, and one of them summons the King of Hell, healing all of them, and Yahiko gets knocked back as Naruto then sees a beam of chakra going at him, but he dodges it with ease, and getting an animalistic stance, he disappears. "I just figured out how to get rid of all of you. I'll just kill you all at once." Using his sheer strength and Winjutsu, Naruto strikes the Pains in under 5 seconds as he appears behind them, kicking up a massive wind and dust, and the Pains would then blow up as he appears behind them. All the ninjas are shocked, and Jiraiya would say, "See what I mean? He's unstoppable." Tsunade now understands what Jiraiya meant, as the ninja then start cheering for Naruto, even though he, contains the fox. Right now, he is their hero. Naruto then walks over to the dead corpses of the Pains, only to realize that these people are not alive to begin with, but the fight is over. He bends down, taking one of the rods out of Yahiko Pain, and he starts to kind of use his sage energy to track down the miscreant who did this. And as he is, Hinata is the first one to reach Naruto as she asks if he's okay. Naruto then, as he enters, Sage Mode says, "I'm fine, but I think I just found our enemy." His eyes then zoom in to see Nagato with perfection, and Nagato gasps with horror, realizing how much trouble they're in, and he tells Konan they have to leave. But as Konan goes to get them out of there, the tree they're hiding in is burst through, as Konan would then say, "Shit," and then she turns to paper and goes to attack, but Nagato yells, "No, don't!" But it's too late as she falls to the ground, and Nagato then looks to see Naruto with an enraged look, and he just used Itachi's Tsukuyomi. "Nice to meet you, Pain." Nagato then smiles, asking what he planned to do now, and Naruto looks at Nagato saying, "Sensei talks a lot about you." Nagato is surprised to hear these words, as Naruto then says, "You were his hope, but now look at what happened to you, trying to fix the world by breaking and ruining it. What are you trying to do here?" Nagato then says not to compare his pain to his, because he had no other choice, and he can never imagine what he went through. But then Naruto cuts him off, saying, "What about me, huh?" Naruto's eyes then become slit for the first time in a long time, and he says, "No one ever cares about how much pain we Jinchurikis are in. They're literally hunting me. You have a powerful Dojutsu, but you don't even use it to your advantage. You definitely had a choice. You chose your path. You chose the path that would get things done quicker, but that didn't solve anything. Look what happened to you." Naruto then scoffs as he starts to calm down and his eyes fade away, go back to normal. And he would say, "I know the pain, Nagato, but you're just someone who thinks he's doing the right thing when you're not." Nagato then said it doesn't matter anyway because this world is just stuck in a constant cycle of pain, war, and he and everyone in the ninja world are basically a result of that, and it just never ends. And then Naruto smiles hearing this and he says, "I'll take that challenge." Nagato then says, "What?" And Naruto says, "I'll do it. I'll make a world where kids don't have to go through what you and I did, what any of us did. Obviously, I'm gonna need some help, but I think it's possible." Nagato hearing this says that if that's the case, then there's no place for him in this new world. And he says, "This is selfish to ask, but please destroy these eyes." Naruto says that he's very confusing as a man. And he goes up to Konan and wakes her up, and as she does, she gets up backing away, getting ready to attack, only to be stopped by Nagato. "Neither you or my Rinnegan are a match for his Zenchogan." Konan, frustrated, then says, "So what do you want now?" Naruto then walks over to Nagato saying he wanted his eyes, and in exchange he would give him, new ones. No problem, easy. Nagato then says that if he wanted to kill him, then he should just said that instead of just saying, "Oh, I want to take out your eyes," which is pretty painful when it can kill you. But then Naruto quickly rips out his eyes to the shock of Konan, who would then kneel to Nagato in anger, checking up on him, and he would say, Naruto then reaches his hand out saying, "Come with me and I'll give you new eyes, like I said. But I'm destroying these after we give you some new ones." Cut to a few minutes later, and Kakashi, Neji, Sakura, along with some ninjas approached where Naruto walked out to, with them finding Konan, who was wearing an Akatsuki robe, holding something in a huge paper wrap, and Naruto was in front of her and they get ready to attack when Naruto then tells them to stop. "Don't worry, I have a plan. Do you trust me?" They all get quiet as they then get off guard, and Kakashi says that he of course trusts him, but that isn't what matters right now. Naruto then says, "Alright, just calm down. We're gonna bring these two to our side. Just listen to me." So cut to a few days later, Konan is sitting beside Nagato, who has his eyes wrapped. He's had the surgery from Sakura and Tsunade, and Naruto, from after returning to the village, was hailed as the hero of the village, which is being rebuilt. And everything is going well for Naruto as him and his village tried to make a friend out of an enemy, which is something that people support, especially since he weakened Nagato and has proven himself to be very powerful with what people now call the Zenchogan. I know it's a Zenchogan, and people call it the Eyes of the Lord, as it just came when they needed it. And it sounds very prophetic, and much like the Rinnegan, it has godly powers, but it's much more less eerie because it didn't try to, murder them by someone else's use. So Tsunade walks in the room where Konan is and tells her to follow her, and she is brought out onto the ruined village as everyone avoids looking at her, but of course they have a bit of disdain for her. "Where are we going?" Tsunade then says, "To the home of the feudal lord." So they make it to the feudal lord and they enter the main meeting room to see Inoichi, Choza, Shikaku, Hiyashi, Homura, Koharu, Naruto, and the feudal lord himself at a table, having a meeting. And the feudal lord would then say, "So, you are of the Akatsuki." Konan then says, "Yes, what do you plan to do with me?" The feudal lord then says, now that Naruto has contributed to the village and has a powerful Dojutsu, he is not only part of two clans but can now form his own, and he's decided to convince us to form an alliance with you. But there are some disagreements from Homura and Koharu, hence this meeting. Konan then says, "Then what's your goal, Naruto Uzumaki?" And Naruto nervously scratches his head saying, "I just want to stop this cycle of pain. I'll put this into simple terms. Right now I have enough power to destroy a tailed beast." They're all shocked, and he would say the Zenchogan can copy and increase the power of any jutsu, and along with that, it gives me the power of rivaling that of the 8 gates even without using the 8 gates. I have power, but what would be the point of killing a weakened enemy? Homura then says, "Naruto Uzumaki, these assumptions of your power have nothing to do with this. Doesn't it though? My power let me discover the traitor Danzo, while you two simply abided by his orders like some puppy dogs. You've hurt this village more than helped, so do not open your mouth if you're only going to insult me and not add to the conversation." The two then get intimidated as they sweat nervously and shut up, and Shikaku then smiles, thinking he's realized what position he's in and is taking advantage of it. Not bad, Naruto. Naruto then says, "Look, if we get Konan and Nagato on our side, we will be allied with another nation along with the Sand. It's a perfect deal. They just want to protect their people, like us. While their actions cannot ever be forgiven, letting our hate ruin such an opportunity is just plain stupid." Silence then sets in and Tsunade says, I agree. Honestly, that would be nothing. We wouldn't gain anything from massacring their people. We would just have more blood on our hands. Isn't that exactly what we're trying to stop? Chosa then agrees, as does Inoichi, Shikaku, and Hiyashi, to the surprise of them, because Hiyashi usually is more selfish, and Hiyashi would then say, I will agree on condition. You, Naruto, you must take my daughter's hand in marriage. Everyone is surprised, and Feudal Lord would then say, oh, quite mischievous, huh, Hiyashi? And Hiyashi says, no problem, right? Since you're already dating her. Naruto then says fine, but he never thought he was such a nice person, to which he scoffs at, and Koharu then says, you can't be serious, right? Feudal Lord, just like that? Please reconsider. And the Feudal Lord then says, I'm sorry, but from here on out, you two are removed from your position. I'll give that position to you four. And he points to Chosa, Inoichi, Hiyashi, and Shikaku, who are surprised, but they accept the position. And the Feudal Lord says that they will make an alliance with the Ring and combat the Akatsuki and finally put an end to all this. Konan then bows, thanking Naruto, who says they all did it together, and says, and don't bow to me now, do it after I become Hokage, okay? As he says this with a big smile, this frustrates the old council members as the two siblings then get out of there and leave in disgrace. And the Feudal Lord would then say, oh, by the way, now that you are head of your new clan, you have the same privileges as the other clans, but please do not get cocky. Naruto then says that he won't need to, and the Feudal Lord sighs in relief, thinking that, considering how strong he is, he could overtake this village. I'm glad we haven't aggravated him too much. Naruto then stands up and walks past Konan, asking that they go back quickly to check on Nagato, and they start leaving. When on the way they meet Jiraiya, and Konan would then say, Sensei. Jiraiya then asks, is he okay? And Naruto says, you haven't seen him? Jiraiya then says, I've been a bit nervous this whole situation. I never thought you would actually make it happen. Thank you for staying on the good side. Naruto then says, don't get sentimental now, just say that for him, come on. They then leave together, and a few days pass, and the village is being fixed, and now a Kage summit is being set up, and on the day that Tsunade leaves, she would take Kakashi and Guy, leaving Naruto to watch over the village, because the Feudal Lord wants him to stay and keep the people safe. And as Tsunade leaves for the Land of Iron, this is around the time when Sasuke had already joined the Akatsuki, and had presumably killed and captured Killer Bee. This was the other reason why Raikage would of course come to the summit, and Konoha continues to rebuild itself. When one day, though, as he's walking around the village with Hinata, Naruto would have two cloud ninjas appear in front of him, those being Karui and Omoi. Karui then points her sword at Naruto. You're Naruto Uzumaki, right? Tell us everything you know about Sasuke, his techniques, his habits, everything. And why the hell would I do that? I don't know you. Karui then gets pissed, saying, so that means you're covering for him, right? That tone of yours, you're hiding something. Hinata then asks, are you aware that you're stepping on the grounds of Konoha without setting up a meeting? This is a serious problem. And Moe and Karui say they know, but their faces say otherwise, showing that they came here on their own without being given permission. But they say that Sasuke has killed their master and is part of the Akatsuki, so they want revenge. Hinata is shocked to hear that he joined them, and Naruto sighs and says either way it's not his problem. What Sasuke does never makes sense to me, so you're better off going on and asking him yourself. Karui at this point just attacks out of anger, appearing right in front of Naruto with a sword strike, but as she goes to, she's then palm struck and sent flying and cratering into a lake nearby. Hinata, having done this, rages, saying, you can say whatever you want, but do not lay a hand on Naruto. Karui in extreme pain and says, shit, she got me good. Omoi, do something. Omoi looks at her and then at Hinata and then back at Karui, saying, dude, she's totally gonna kill me. Hell no. You freaking coward, Karui would say, as Naruto then thanked Hinata, who says there's no problem, and Naruto said, I thought you would know this. Your master is in Jinchuriki, right? Karui then gets out of the water, yeah? Well, I'm a host myself, so I know for a fact that to extract her beast, it takes hours, even days, so he's still alive. Hearing this puts a smile on their faces as the two, then kind of thank Naruto, and Naruto says that if they are done with all of this bullcrap, then he'll be leaving now, but if you ever do something like this again, I'll kill you myself. The two are then hit by this immense bloodlust, which quickly stops as soon as it starts, with Naruto and Hinata then walking off, as she asks if that was really okay to just, not help them more. And Naruto says that that's what the summit is for. Besides, I have a feeling they came here despite not being told to. So the two then head back into the village, and Omoi and Karui leave trying to find Bee. However, soon Naruto gets a bad feeling, and a few hours later, he uses his Sage mode and he focuses on Tsunade and sees something bad happening at the summit. He then was right about this, and right in front of Tsunade, surprising every Kage who was there except for Gaara and Naruto would appear just right then, like in the middle, as Sasuke was attacking, and he would then see him from above, and the two would cross eyes. Kakashi would then say, Naruto, how did you get here? Naruto, however, is more focused on Sasuke, who, while holding on Samihara, would then ask that he get out of the way. Naruto goes to say something when something starts to grow on his arm, and to everyone's surprise, the Zetsu they thought that the Raikage had killed starts to grow on Naruto. Naruto, however, since he is releasing Sage Energy, this makes Zetsu weak and he falls off his arm and turns into a little tree. What the hell, Guy would say? Naruto then dodges a bite from Samihara as he then strikes it with pure strength and blows a hole in it. On a surprise, Sasuke is then shot at by the Tsuchikage, who manages to dodge while activating his Susanoo ribcage, and he lands down. Tsunade then stands up saying, "I don't know how you got here or where you got that from, but thanks." Naruto then says, "Don't thank me yet, this isn't over." And Sasuke, annoyed, puts away Samehara in his new sheath, and it slowly regenerates, and all of them are just not moving, and like they're just still. They're trying to think of their next move. And if you're wondering, A is fighting down below against Jugo and with his attendants, and Gaara is also there with the siblings, with some samurai trying to fight them and find things out. And the water guy, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, I actually like him a lot, but you know. So, amongst this silence, the Tsuchikage blasts Sasuke again with the Sekai Genkai, and he blocks it with the Susanoo as he then creates a giant Susanoo arm that swings across the room, but Naruto stops it with his hand, and he crushes it. Susanoo, Naruto would say, as he then creates his own giant orange Susanoo, which forms around him, swinging at Sasuke, who manages to block with his own Susanoo ribcage, but then it cracks. Everyone is shocked, and the Tsuchikage would then say, "Is that the kid you mentioned? The one who can copy any jutsu?" Tsunade then nods as they then see this, big orange Susanoo, and Sasuke, hearing, Naruto indeed does have a dojutsu, see he's not gonna win this battle. "Tell me one thing though, how did you get that? Those eyes, it just came to me. How'd you get yours?" "Pain," Sasuke would say, and he would then look at Naruto and uses Amaterasu, but Naruto feels it and moves out of the way with the fire just hitting the wall behind him, and it starts to light and spread, but Naruto quickly cancels it out by looking at it, and then he looks back at Sasuke, who was stomped. "What the hell? Just what is that thing?" Naruto would then say, "I'm gonna have to end things here, Sasuke. Just retreat. I don't want to kill you." Now, Sasuke weighs his options, but honestly speaking, he can't really get out of here that easily, and his pride is also kind of weighing in, and, he's trying to figure things out. He's really cornered, seriously, he's about to die, and Naruto will have no choice but to capture him. But this is when Sasuke is warped away, and Naruto would look and see Obito, who had just done this, and he uses an Amaterasu on him, but Obito just barely warps away in time. As much as I hate that guy, I gotta thank him for that, Naruto would think. Kurotsuchi, who is with the Tsuchikage, would then say, "So, he has a dojutsu." Ao from Mizukage's team uses his cover Byakugan to look through Naruto, and he sees a surplus of chakra, and is just kind of surprised, as Mei would then ask, "What's wrong?" "His chakra, it's endless, and those eyes are producing it. So much of it." Naruto then turns to him before then looking around, and he realizes all the attention is on him now. "What did you expect when you make an entrance like that?" Kakashi would say, and Naruto says, "Stop reading my mind." Guy then chuckles, saying that he should feel proud because he stepped in, so he did it at the right time and nothing bad happened. And this is when Naruto would bow to every Kage who was in there, apologizing for barging in. And the Tsuchikage then lands down from flying because he can fly, which Naruto was also copied. And he asks Naruto to come close, and he does. "Can I see them?" The Zenchogan. Naruto then nods and reactivates his star eyes, and the Tsuchikage is shocked at how much chakra it's using and how beautiful they are. And Mei then asks how it's possible for him to have a dojutsu because he's pretty sure Kushina or Minato never had one. "You mean the fourth Hokage and his wife?" Naruto would say, laughing. "Why would that? Are you kidding me right now?" "Granny Tsunade, why didn't you tell me about this?" And Tsunade says, "Stop calling me that in front of the other leaders." Naruto then pouts, saying that she deserves it and she was lying to him this entire time, to which the Kage all laugh at. And they seem to like Naruto, as he does not only have charisma and guts, but he just does not get nervous easily, even when around Hokage. Mei at this point would be thinking, he's already at Kage level, I bet. And at this point, the Raikage and Gaara walk back in as Naruto turns to them and he bows before then lifting his head and slightly smiling at Gaara. And Gaara would then say, "Naruto, so you were the other person we were sensing." The Raikage then looking at Naruto sees the splitting image of Minato, but then he walks up to him and he asks if he knew anything about his brother in a menacing way. "You better be careful what you say or I might just think you're in league with Sasuke, so that means you're an enemy of all of us." Tsunade, Kakashi, and Guy, however, look completely composed as they trust that Naruto is more than, enough to deal with this. And Naruto then says, "Oh, your brother's actually alive. He's hiding in the land of iron right now." What Sasuke took was probably a clone containing his Biju chakra or something. All the Kages are stunted as Aiden asks how he can trust him, and Naruto's eyes change to that of a toad as he then says, "Because I'm a sage. I can sense him." Matter of fact, he's sitting in a tree, rapping? You have a weird brother. A now knows this must be his brother, and with a stern look, he looks at Naruto saying he still doesn't trust him, and Naruto shrugs his shoulders. Why do I always mess that up? He shrugs his shoulders saying that he can't really do anything about that. And, yeah. And then Zetsu would appear again above them, and Zetsu would say, I have a message for all of you, especially you, Naruto Uzumaki. What is that thing? Seriously, does it just not die? Gaara would say. And Zetsu then laughs, saying that getting rid of him is impossible, as he then said that the Akatsuki was getting ready for war, and they better be on guard. Soon, this entire world will be a battlefield. Naruto, as he hears this, is also copying Zetsu's ability to pop up like a parasite, and he's kind of making a jutsu for it, you know, and how to steal chakra, how he does all that stuff. And he would then smile, saying, I dare you to try it, but first you're gonna need my beast, aren't you? Well, you're never getting him. Zetsu then says that they'll see about that, and he is then blasted by the Tsuchikage, who scoffs, saying that this is gonna get troublesome, as Naruto then said that he's gonna go back to Konoha to make sure everyone is safe, and he warps away like how he came, using Obito's warping ability. By the way, he can also enter Obito's space, which he finds pretty weird. Yeah, he just finds it weird. He never really thinks of anything about it, though. Tsunade then says, so, should we get back to the meeting? Where's Mifune? Gaara then said he should be coming up soon and that he was gonna, you know, still be trying to help his samurai and the enemies escape. They're trying to investigate. And, as he says this went out of nowhere. Naruto just comes back saying, oh, I forgot. He would then walk to A and use his healing jutsu, but at a much higher level, completely regenerating the arm that he had cut off while fighting with Sasuke. And all the Kage are shocked. That's crazy, A would say, as he then just clenches his arm and feels it. It's actually there. And Naruto then says, alright, you guys get back to your meeting. Sorry for interrupting. He then leaves for good this time, and Mei says, I think we can all agree on one thing. Even the Akatsuki know it. Naruto is dangerous to them and beneficial to us. He doesn't even need to use the Kyuubi's power, but he's definitely at our level or above it. So, what do you think? What should we do? A then clenches his fist, which is now restored, and he just does it because he wants to really know if this is real. And he would tell Tsunade that the boy might have to join the war. And Tsunade sighs, saying, even if I tell him not to, you think he's gonna listen to me? But if they're that confident, even with us having Naruto, they must have a powerful force, right? We then cut to Sasuke as he appears at Tobi's place, and he stumbles over a bit, as he then said, I need Itachi's eyes now. So you realize, seems like I can't take him too lightly as well. He's still human though, he must have limits. Sasuke then says, just do it, so I can at least stand a chance, and I know he's stronger, but he's soft. He won't kill me. I'll take advantage of that. Tobi then says they should go do that right now, and he also has something that he needs to do right away, which is summon Madara. Not that he has told anyone that. Now after this, A looks for B, who he finds eventually. The Kage prepare for war, and things are getting serious, as Tobi uses Madara's Wujutsu to create the gigantic Zetsu army. But for now, let's go back to Naruto. Sleeping in his room, he is called to his inner plane, his inner mind, and he opens his eyes to see Kurama behind his cage. We need to talk. How will the war start this time? Will Naruto become friends with Kurama? Find out in the upcoming parts. It's been me, Prince of What Ifs, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Goodbye.